It has been a crazy last few days, ladies and gentlemen, as I have been out and about, but I'm back now. And as your liaison of conversation, I'm back to give you hottest show, hottest form of conversation in terms of Alabama football. This is, in my own words, the podcast Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Stephen M. Smith. Every time I start off with this: if you're an Alabama fan, diehard, love that tie, can't get enough of Nick Saban, can't get enough of that crimson and white, you rock that to the depth of you, Touchdown Alabama Magazine YouTube, the site you need to get your hands on. We cover the Crimson Tide in depth, best content, best commentary, best analysis, updates. Touchdown Alabama Magazine YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the podcast. We're right now at 1,700 subscribers because of you, the fans. We encourage you to leave your comments, thoughts, concerns, debate, because it's you guys that drive the information. Also, tdalabamamag.com, the online website, tdalabamamag.com. Best in practice recap, game recap, stories, press conferences, recruiting. We got it all. If you need just a field pump, a little petro, a little bit more fuel on Bama, gotta have that Bama. Touchdown Alabama Magazine, YouTube, tdalabamamag.com, the one-stop shop for you for all things Bama. Check out those two sites. They will get you where you need to go. Prior to taking our break there on In My Own Words, we left off on the comments made by Jalen Hurts during Alabama's Fan Day and the open practice. Once again, special thanks goes out to Rodney Orr of TiderInsider.com, helping me break down that segment. But over the weekend, I was at the first preseason scrimmage. I was there. Media is not allowed to get the scrimmage. We're able to get warm-ups. Nick Saban does not want us in there when the scrimmage occurs. And hey, this is his program. He's the one making $8.3 million this year. He can do whatever the heck he wants to do. But as a part of the media, I find my ways to get information because I'm trying to provide you, the fans, with the best of that information. There were a number of things that stood out to me, or I was told via multiple sources, people I talk to, people I trust, credible people around the program concerning the first scrimmage. And a lot of what I was told kind of dates back to the open practice, where I broke down the guys that stood out at the open practice. If you did not catch that podcast from the open practice, go to the Touchdown Alabama Magazine YouTube page, subscribe, go into the archive section, you will find that. Number of things stood out to me at Alabama's preseason scrimmage. The first thing, Alabama secondary. Secondary looked real good over the weekend. There was a fear from the Alabama fan base about the secondary, and rightfully so to have that fear, especially when this was a group that graduated 6 guys to the National Football League. We know them: Minkah Fitzpatrick, Ronnie Harrison, Tony Brown, Levi Wallace, Anthony Everett, and Lawrence Hootie Jones. We graduated 6 guys to the National Football League. And for a lot of fans, the fear was the secondary is going to take a back seat. We lost too much. What's going to happen? Oh my goodness, we lost him and Minkah and Ronnie and Tony and Everett. We lost All-American type players. What are we going to do? Well, the good thing about having the defensive front that Alabama has under defensive line coach Craig Kulagowski and defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoi is that it's going to give the secondary some time in jail due to Alabama's got the pass rushers up front to affect the quarterback. But After what I heard from the first scrimmage, I heard secondary looked good. No fear needed. These guys came to play. That first team unit held its own, stood toe-to-toe with Tua Tagovailoa, didn't give him anything. Now, Tua's ability to be an effective passer, he was able to stick some balls into some receivers, but it wasn't like those receivers were burning the DBs. Those DBs hung in close, hung in tight, took away some angles, were in position. It was just a lot of times Tua just made the big-time throw. But that secondary came to play. Deontay Thompson, Xavier McKinney came away very impressed with those two on the back end. It looks like those two seem to be like 4- and 5-year veterans out there. It doesn't look like these two are making their first actual start in a season, like they're first-time starters. Looks like they're prime-time vets out there. Both guys showing tremendous range. Deontay Thompson, the leader of the group. I know a lot of people felt like last year during the college football playoff and the national championship game that the light bulb finally came on for Thompson. The light bulb been on for that guy. He was just waiting on Nick Saban to finally give him a chance. The light bulb been on for Deontay Thompson. In my opinion, I felt like Saban overextended Minkah, overexerted Minkah, overused Minkah Fitzpatrick. And I understand when he's being viewed as the best player on your roster, a top 10 NFL draft pick, you want to squeeze every juice out of that orange that you can. But when you have a guy as capable as Deontay Thompson, it's not a bad thing to spot play him to give Minkah some rest and at the same time build up Thompson's portfolio. Deontay Thompson can play. This is your old school, passionate, throwback, high energy, hard hitting safety. And the guy, from what I was told, showed that at the scrimmage. Xavier McKinney, great young player. What I've heard about him, he's got some Landon Collins thumping ability in him. And Deontay Thompson was being interviewed last week during the player media portion, and he talked about Xavier McKinney, great young player. He can call the defense from the safety spot. He can communicate down to the corners, the guy playing dime, the guy playing nickel. He can communicate the assignment down. Very intelligent guy, plays with a lot of range. And another thing is the relationship, the chemistry between Thompson and McKinney, very good chemistry there. So your two back guys, your safeties, are both in tune. Then you break this down to Savion Smith and the corners. Savion Smith, solid guy. 6'2", near that 200-pound mark, got Southeastern Conference experience from Louisiana State University, LSU, did his thing at the JUCO ranks at East Mississippi Community College. During the spring, what I heard from a lot of media personnel, sources around me, that right corner spot is safe, which is where Savion Smith is playing, at right corner, doing his job. At the scrimmage, I heard he surprised some folks. Did not overthink things, did not overreact to things, played aggressive, played physical, was in the hip pocket of receivers, read the eyes of the quarterback, even had an interception in the scrimmage. Savion Smith, solid player. Trayvon Diggs, battling for that left corner spot, trying to hold off Patrick Surtain Jr., who's uber talented. Trayvon Diggs held his own. Played pretty well out there. He's trying to hold off Patrick Surtain, who played well also, but Trayvon Diggs held his own. Shaheem Carter at nickel, it is his time. It is his time. Nick Saban said it. The guy can call the defense from the secondary, from the slot corner spot. Knows the defense through and through, understands the playbook, understands what he's supposed to do, has taken on this leadership role. Deontay Thompson mentioned most versatile player in the secondary, Shyheim Carter. Can play corner, can play star, can play dime, can play safety if you want him to. Most versatile, intelligent player in that back five. Knows receiver, ball assignments, knows that entire thing. Knows the entire essence of the scheme. Shyheim Carter, it is his time. Should have played more last year, was more of a system fit last year, but I think this year he's going to full-on show why he's the system fit. There's a couple of young guys in here that will have some opportunities. Jarrett Maiden, according to Nick Saban, has greatly improved. He's got some range on him. But the guy that one person singled out to me was Kyrique McDonald. Remember that name? He was the guy that passed out on the sideline during the Sugar Bowl against Clemson, college football playoff, passed out due to a touch of dehydration and some flu-like symptoms, and nobody reported on that kid. He had to be carted off the field, taken to the emergency room. He's fine now. But what I heard about Kyrique McDonald from a source, this kid is all heart, all effort, full-on hustler. He's got some areas of his game that he needs to clean up, but he is a full-on hustler. Heard that there was a play during the scrimmage that he got burned by one of the tight ends, did not give up on the play. Chased the tight end all the way down, punched the ball out of his hand, caused a fumble, and recovered the turnover. How about that? Kyrique McDonald got burned on the play, chased the tight end, never gave up on it. Chased the tight end all the way down the field. Before the guy reached the end zone, punched the ball out of his hands for a fumble, recovered the turnover. Nick Saban sees stuff like that. Yes, he may tell him, young man, you got burned in coverage. There's some things you got to work on, but the effort. Don't give up on the play. Create the turnover and fall on it. Nick Saban saw that. And if you put McDonald around the right players, at some point, that boy gonna shine. All out heart, all out effort. Probably the one piece of bad news where the secondary is concerned, Daniel Wright, Nick Saban talked about it, sustained a separated shoulder in the scrimmage and in fall camp. As far as the team doctors go, what I'm being told is it's a torn shoulder. Team doctors not sure about the precautions they're going to take. Nick Saban hopeful that Daniel Wright can play this season. If he does, great. If not, it sucks because I was very high on this young man. He was in position to be the dime back, to start in the dime package. I hope he's able to play. If not, you look at Trayvon Diggs, you look at Patrick Surtain, the loser of that battle at corner, can play dime. Jarrett Maiden, I know he's improved at safety. He can play dime. Nigel Knott can play dime. Hey, Kyrique McDonald can play dime. If he can continue to clean up some things, continue to show that effort, but secondary folks looked good. Once again, the only surefire quarterback that secondary will face in the upcoming season is Drew Lock of Missouri, who had 3,964 passing yards last year and 44 touchdowns. And according to a lot of draft analysts, he produces these same numbers this season. He could be the first quarterback taken. Now, the likes of Jake Browning of Washington and Trace McSorley of Penn State may think otherwise, but Drew Lock's the real deal. Big-time player. Alabama secondary, though, stepped up. First scrimmage. Number 2 guy that impressed me, mentioned him in the Open Practice podcast, Quinnen Williams, defensive lineman, Birmingham, Alabama, Winona High School, coming into his redshirt sophomore year. Folks, he will start at defensive tackle. Mark it down, put it on the calendar, put a star by it. He will replace Daron Payne as the starting defensive tackle. This kid's got it all. It's 6'4", 289. Speed, power, finesse, hand strike. Nick Saban mentioned it after the scrimmage in his presser. Very proud of Quinnen Williams. He's played well all camp. Nick Saban, very proud of Quinnen Williams. He's probably the most productive guy we have up front. He's becoming the most productive guy we have up front. That's what Nick Saban said about Quinnen Williams. From the moment he's come in to right now, he's improved physically, mentally, emotionally. He's embodied all the things I've said about, that I've talked about. This is Nick Saban talking here. I'm very proud of him. Becoming the most productive guy we have up front. People talk a lot about Raekwon Davis for good reasons. People talk a lot about Isaiah Buggs for good reasons. Quinnen Williams will replace Daron Payne at defensive tackle. Last year, 20 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, finished 4th on the team, 2 sacks, can create pressure from the inside. Quinnen Williams, number 2 guy. Number 3, thing that stood out from Alabama's scrimmage, the wide receivers, in particular some of the younger guys. We know what to expect from Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, and Devontae Smith. They got the experience last year. They got the attention entering this season. But the guys I want to focus on, Xavier Williams, Jalen Waddle, and Tyrell Shavers. Nick Saban mentioned Williams and Waddle will contribute this year. He will find a role for those two. Where Jalen Waddle is concerned, he'll play some at receiver, but special teams is where he's going to break a lot of hearts of the opposition. I heard from sources, they may punt to Jalen Waddle a couple of times to start the year, but after the start of the year, they're going to punt that ball away from that kid. He's got the ability to take it back to the house every single time. This guy's really good. Vision, distinct acceleration, natural feel with the ball in space on special teams. Jalen Waddle, him and Xavier Williams, there'll be a role for those two. Tyrell Shavers, I believe this young man in the 2017 class has found his niche. Heard from guys I've talked to, this could more than likely be Alabama's 3rd down and red zone weapon. Big body, 6'6", 216. I'm hearing he's got a basketball mentality. He likes to get up there, rebound it, snatch balls from DBs, elevate, out-jump guys, shield the ball from the defensive back with his body, get downfield, break tackles. Probably not the savviest route runner, but 50-50 balls, hands, that big body on 3rd down and in the red zone, possession receiver. I'm hearing a lot of the Cam Sims comparisons with Tyrell Shavers. Could be a more refined Cam Sims, bigger than Derek Keefe, can do a lot of things on 3rd down in the red zone in different situations. Caught a touchdown pass of a back shoulder fade from Tua Tagovailoa. Tyrell Shavers has found his niche. Possession guy. 3rd down, red zone receiver. But Alabama's young guys, Xavier Williams, Jalen Waddle, Tyrell Shavers, making an impact. Those guys stepping up. 4th impact thing, or 4th standout thing I saw, Skylar DeLong, punter. It's going to be hard to replace J.K. Scott. It's going to be hard to replace a legend in what that guy was. But I'm hearing Skylar DeLong is going to be just fine. This young man had 4 to 5 punts that landed inside the 20. He is going to be fine. He is flipping the field. He is squeezing the return man. He's getting the hang time on his kicks. Now, offensively, if Tua's the quarterback, how much will Alabama actually punt this season remains to be seen. But Skylar DeLong showing JK's gone, but I can do the job. Get the job in Alabama's first scrimmage. Last but not least, fifth guy that stood out. You know we had to go to a quarterback since everybody's talking quarterbacks. Tua Tagovailoa looks in sync. 5 touchdown passes, 4 to 5 touchdown passes, no interceptions. As I mentioned, just threading the needle. That Brett Favre mentality. And I've never been anti-Tua. Like I said, I've always been pro both. I've been pro Jalen, I've been pro Tua. Know both, understand both. I'm for the guy that's going to get Alabama's offense to where it compels you to watch them play. I think Alabama fans are tired of just having a guy manage the game. They want to have a guy that's got that Kobe Bryant, Black Mamba, I'm going to dominate the game. And you can tell at what point they are going to dominate the game, and the defense still would have no way of stopping it. Other teams in college football have had that quarterback that has dominated the game. Teams that have beaten Alabama, they've beaten them by having that quarterback that doesn't just manage, they dominated it. Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, Deshaun Watson, all dominated the game. That's what beat Alabama. Not managing the game, but having the moment where you come out and full-on dominate the football game, throwing the football. And Tua, at the first scrimmage, heard around. He's in sync. National championship game, no fluke. I get it, folks saying one pass, one significant moment, but he's proven as hard as he can, this is who he is. It's not no once-in-a-lifetime deal. This is exactly who Tua Tagovailoa is. The ability to be that prolific guy throwing the football. And once again, I've been pro both since day one. And for Jalen, I know he had the 3 interceptions, no touchdowns accounted for. There's another scrimmage coming next week. He has a chance to improve upon the issues from last week. Nick Saban talked about he's evaluating both guys and how one scrimmage does not define who the starter is going to be. But in terms of Jalen, what I heard from a source, it's the same thing. It's the same thing he's always been doing. Not sure of himself being able to throw the football. Not sure of himself having confidence to put the ball downfield. And this is a tough situation because I look at it from, if Jalen would have came early on in the Nick Saban process at Alabama, I feel like he would have been fine. If he would have came early on where the motto was just manage the game, play good defense, run the ball, keep us in position to win, I think it would have been fine. But nowadays where everybody's thirsting, lusting for that quarterback that could just change the dynamic of a football game, and there are moments where Jalen Hurts is just struggling to try to fit that bill. He's struggling with, do I play to how I know I can play? Do I play to my strength? Or do I try to be that game-changing quarterback throwing the ball everybody wants me to be? And that's not my full skill set right now. I feel like Jalen is in an internal conflict. He wants to be a great passer, but just in the pocket, that's not his skill set. He wants to use his legs, and Nick Saban's been trying to get to him, hey, we know you can run, just sit there and throw it. Is that his skill set? And I feel like he's trying to fight his own self, and I gotta do this, but that's not necessarily my skill set. Jalen Hurts would have came early on in the Alabama era, maybe, but because he came in this day and age where you got to have a quarterback that dominates it. And the national championship game against Georgia, the light bulb finally clicked on for Bama to where we got to have more than just the talent around the quarterback. Now we have to have the quarterback too. So then there's that. Tua Tagovailoa showed out in the first scrimmage, captured the first scrimmage. Can he continue that? Is the question. But guys that stood out to me in the first scrimmage, running this back over again, Alabama secondary stood out. No fear. They're playing. Number 2, Quentin Williams stood out. He will replace Daron Payne at defensive tackle. Mark it down. Alabama's young receiver stood out. Xavier Williams, Jalen Waddle, Tyrell Shavers. They're creating a niche for themselves. Skylar DeLong, punter, stood out. He's going to be fine. Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback, captured that first scrimmage with his play. Taking another break here on In My Own Words. I know I mentioned Mack Wilson, that topic. We'll hold off on that because there's a certain Louisville receiver that decided to open his mouth during Cardinals media days and said some things that he probably will regret the first week of the college football season. Who is that Louisville receiver? What the heck did he say? Why did he choose to poke at Alabama? We'll touch it up on the other side of the break. It's In My Own Words. It's your boy, Stephen M. Smith, host of In My Own Words, the podcast. If you are a fan of this show, then I encourage you to subscribe to the Touchdown Alabama Magazine YouTube channel. Also follow the brand on Facebook, Twitter, and other forms of social media as we continue to bring you the best in Alabama football and Crimson Tide athletics.